The objective is to ensure that we complete and deliver on our flagship projects and programs.
Leave nothing to chance. President Buhari directs NDAs at third Ministerial Performance Review retreat.
In the private sector, in the technical state, we will establish those factories.
Political activities heighten nationwide as gladiators keep hope alive. Plus, how are university campuses following Academic Staff Union of Universities suspension of 8 months strike?
Return to school, get yourself focused, and this is not the time for us to get into so many socials.
A warm welcome to NTA Network News. We are live in Abuja. I am Jummai Yusuf. Hengino John Adams will be joining us from the city of Lagos. Don't forget you can follow this newscast live on our website nta.ng/live as well as all the social media platforms displayed on the screen. Ministries, departments and agencies have been directed to reinvigorate their efforts towards ramping up the delivery of federal government flagship programs and projects contained in their ministerial mandates. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave the directive at the opening of the third Ministerial Performance Review retreat, insists that nothing will be left to chance at this critical point in the life of his administration as it begins winding down. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
The retreat, organized for ministers, permanent secretaries and other top government functionaries, has as its theme enhance security, fight corruption and transform the economy. It is an opportunity to reflect on the progress made so far by the MDAs in the execution of their mandates in 9 key priority areas, review the status of implementation of policies, programs and projects of government, as well as identify areas that need urgent intervention.
The objective is to ensure that we complete and deliver on our flagship projects and programs, promote sustainable economic growth and development, as well as improve the living standards of our people.
President Buhari consequently highlighted some of the high-impact roads, rail and power projects, amongst others, implemented by his administration towards meeting the collective aspiration of Nigerians and leaving lasting legacies for posterity.
Some of the notable achievements include the completion of 326 kilometers Itape, Ajakuta, Warri rail line, the completion of over 150 kilometers Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge railway modernization project, the construction of 1.9 kilometer second Niger bridge linking Anambra and Delta states, construction and expansion of Lagos-Shagamu-Ibadan dual carriageway, the ongoing rehabilitation of Abuja, Kaduna, Kano Road, among others.
The president said the commitment of government towards increasing power generation to 25,000 megawatts in 6 years is on course. The national carrier Nigeria Air, he promised, will hit the skies before the end of the year, while his administration will remain unwavering in the fight against corruption.
We will continue to review and prosecute high-profile corruption cases and ensure speedy completion. I am also proud to see that our administration is staying true to our commitment to the Open Government Partnership Initiative. As part of efforts to strengthen performance management culture, the Central Delivery Coordination Unit is being institutionalized. I am delighted to bequeath this legacy to my successor as part of the mechanisms that will assist the next administration in delivering on its promises to the Nigerian people.
Both the British High Commissioner to Nigeria and the presiding officers of the National Assembly who delivered goodwill messages described the retreat as well thought out and worthy of support for a sustainable future of the country.
The nobility of this thrust cannot be overstated, considering that policies often experience twists and turns to arise from likely new realities. We are presented with another chance of gauging the realities and possibly developing shocks against them.
And we must find a way to institutionalize this practice, even if it requires legislation. This is accountability at its best.
The government's success is Nigeria's success. If Nigeria succeeds, Africa succeeds. And the UK is hugely proud to partner with you.
Convener and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, said the retreat, which will last 2 days, will be solution-driven and the outcome is expected to pave the way for the ramping up of the delivery of policies, programs and projects as the Buhari administration concludes in May next year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has expressed the need for an effective synergy between the fiscal and monetary policy as well as the exchange rate management system. The Vice President also made a case for the use of technology, which he says has substantially helped in the implementation of the administration's numerous programs. State House Correspondent Jide Onifade tells us more.
Clearly, there is no administration to date that has invested anywhere close to our investment in infrastructure, from roads, rail to power and broadband infrastructure.
There is so much to talk and write about on the achievements of the administration. A few of these, the Vice President explains as he reflects on the journey so far on the Buhari administration at the third interministerial retreat holding at the State House Conference Center.
The power sector is an area where there has been game-changing progress, but the situation is rather like building a skyscraper. The foundation is several floors into the ground and no one sees the work while the critical component of the building is being done. And this is where we are in the power sector. A lot of foundational stuff is going on. First is the improvement in generating capacity today.
The administration has done well and will continue to do more, says the Vice President, as he speaks on the investments being made in improving infrastructure and also speaks on some of the challenges the nation must confront going forward.
The lesson that we must draw from our efforts over the life of this administration is that coherence and coordination are essential for effective policy implementation. It's important for government policies to be coherent, otherwise different parts of government will end up adopting diametrically opposed policies. And I think that one of the very important issues and one of the very important steps that Mr. President has taken is the establishment of the delivery unit in the presidency. This, I think, is effective and greatly helps in ensuring coherence and coordination of policy.
To former President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, the challenges faced by governments across Africa are in many ways similar.
We cannot be the jack of all trades. We cannot deliver on everything. But we can be focused. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your vision and foresight, and to say that a nation must have a vision bearer. And that vision must continue to another generation, to another administration.
Enhance security, fight corruption, transform the economy. This is the theme of the third Ministerial Performance Review Retreat for ministers, permanent secretaries, and top government functionaries. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has charged member nations of the ECOWAS sub-region to fully harness, utilize and promote science, technology and innovative applications with other socio-economic development indicators that will lead to the rapid industrialization of the region. Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, delivered this message at the opening of the first edition of African Forum for Research and Innovation in Abuja, earlier launched by ECOWAS. Justin Ben Unyi reports.
It It will be the first edition of such a forum for the West African sub-region, where researchers and innovators meet to exchange and share ideas and deliberate on way forward for science and innovation in the region.
Nigeria commits to further strengthening the collaboration with STI experts alongside the provision of technical advice, methodologies, and guidance to ECOWAS member states as integral parts of their respective national development policies and plans.
Scientific and technological advancement continues to change the pace of the human race as new discoveries and innovation give our evolution a new phase.
The link between technological expertise and economic growth is quite clear. Harnessing them and harnessing new technologies increases productivity and improves employment prospects and the possibility of moving up the production value chain.
UNESCO is fully committed to supporting government for distance learning, open science, and knowledge sharing as a means to cooperation.
It is a 5-day event to showcase Africa's ingenuity in science and innovation. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
The First Lady of the Gambia, Fatoumata Barrow, is seeking the support of Nigeria to develop the economy of the Gambia towards creating more international access for the West African nation. She sought the support while appreciating the Nigeria Export Promotion Council and SMIDN for organizing the ongoing Nigeria-Gambia MSME exhibition in Banjul, Gambia, which she says will strengthen Gambia's trade capacity. Comfort Ahmadu reports.
Nigeria can produce what we need in the continent, and we are ready to learn from you.
Desirous to make the Gambian business environment competitive for improved domestic production and export performance, the First Lady of the Gambia, Fatoumata Barrow, is inviting Nigeria to aid Gambia in diversifying its economy.
Bring in a Chamber of Commerce, Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. If we want this relationship to continue, that's the way forward.
What the Gambia wants is to partner with Nigeria, move us from low-income economy to a middle-income economy. You can do this in 10 years.
The Executive Director of Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Ezra Yakusak, assured the Gambia of Nigerians' readiness to work with the country.
Part of the message I'm taking back home is the need of Nigerians to invest in Gambia, because I know by the time we start coming here, we are going to facilitate and encourage trade, and we are going to synergize our relationship as brothers and sisters.
The Gambian government is strategizing to implement enhanced trade policies that will develop trade, generate revenues, and increase investment opportunities. From Banjul, Gambia, and Fort Ahmadu, NTA News.
Let's bring you up to date with other news. It is established that good hand hygiene is an economical public health measure and crucial for prevention of diseases. On this premise, stakeholders want Nigerians to cultivate the culture of regular hand washing beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. This was at the commemoration of the 2022 Global Hand Washing Day organized by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and partner Reckitt. Producer of Data, Joseph Osen, reports.
Living healthy can be simple and affordable, says expert. The simple practice of regular hand washing with soap and running water is linked to 48% reduction in weeks of diarrhea, which is the fourth leading cause of death among children under 5 globally. The report shows that it is also responsible for 16 to 21% reduction in rates of acute respiratory infection.
It is a vaccine that can be self-administered by anyone old enough to literally put food in his or her mouth without any side effects.
Key partners in promoting hand hygiene Reckitt Sub-Saharan Africa. Producers of Dettol says it will continue to produce quality and affordable products to ensure hand washing items are accessible to the public.
The diarrhea prevention focused on safe water and improved hygiene and sanitation is not only possible but cost effective. We have made it our overriding mission to keep educating on proper hand hygiene habits and move the needle towards widespread behavioral change.
Through policy, programs, and advocacy at all levels towards making it a national culture that is imbibed by all, and behavioral change requires that the required action is performed consistently.
The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic saw provision of hand-washing tools in strategic areas and its practice, but complacency has set in as cases reduce. The United Nations Global Hand Washing Day is set aside for key players to advocate hand washing as frontliner to disease reduction.
Hand washing saves lives.
In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
As Nigerian universities set to resume, reports coming from various states indicate that while academic activities are gradually picking up in some of the universities, most are yet to resume. Momso Damien Dati captured some of the reports in this update.
Academic and other activities have commenced in earnest at the University of Calabar following the suspension of the 8-month industrial action embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Ode Elenyo, who visited the university, reports that life has fully returned to the campus.
Make sure that finally got succeed. In a world of happening without sense, you can't do anything. Without nationality, you can't do anything. So you do have to be ready for what to start with.
We saw it coming and we did our best to put our hearts together to break this up and see how much we can fill the gap for the students.
The academic semester is very disjointed now, so we want to see that we tidy this up. Return to school, get yourself focused, and this is not the time for us to get into so many socials. Frivolities, no.
Similarly, reports from the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, indicates that academic activities are yet to resume fully, as there are only pockets of skeletal activities following the suspension of the strike. Meanwhile, from Uyo, Clement Barikuyu reports that academic activities remain paralyzed at the University of Uyo after the Academic Staff Union of Universities directed its members to resume work.
Actually, I'm a final year student, so I'm happy that at least I'll finish this part of my life once and for all.
Spending 5 years or 5, 6, 7 years in school because of strike, and it's really depressing and discouraging, and it could cause some people to drop out.
I was very, very happy. I wasn't really sure, but I had to check online again today to be sure that the strike was called off.
Not also pushing out too much so that I won't have to lose the value of education. I just put one foot here and also put my hopes high that yes, the strike will end and we'll all go back to classes.
Having visited the town campus of the institution, he reported that there is no compliance with the directive. In Abuja, Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
We'll take a break. More reports will return. Do stay. You're welcome back. The head of service of the Civil Service of the Federation has concluded plans to conduct the 2022 annual Public Service Confirmation Examination nationwide as a computer-based test. To this end, the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation is collaborating with the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) to ensure the realization of the transition from the manual method of conducting the examination to electronic. The combined confirmation promotion for junior staff and the compulsory confirmation examination for senior staff are the two mandatory confirmation examinations in the public service, including the police and paramilitary agencies. They are not an option but a mandatory requirement. The 2022 compulsory confirmation examination for senior officers will take place on Wednesday, 19th October 2022 across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation will be utilizing 69 computer-based test centers for the exercise, while about 13,000 officers from the core civil service The Nigerian police and other paramilitary and specialized agencies will take part in this year's examination. It is remarkable to note that the entire process leading to the conduct of this confirmation examination were done electronically. Now let's talk politics. The engagement of presidential candidates by northern groups has ended, with meetings of other two presidential candidates to discuss issues of national interest. The session hosted presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and that of Labour Party, Peter Obi. Reports will come in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has appealed to eligible voters in the country to trust him with their votes in the forthcoming presidential election, and he will treat such mandate with all sincerity in turning around the fortunes of the country for the better. He said this while addressing party supporters at a campaign rally in Kaduna. Suleiman Rigachukwu reports.
Supporters and leaders of the People's Democratic Party from the 23 local government areas in Kaduna State attended the campaign rally. While addressing the gathering, Atiku Abubakar noted that employment generation through robust investment in revitalizing the collapsed industries in Kaduna State, women and youth empowerment, revamping security, as well as infrastructural development have been embedded in his 5-point agenda.
In collaboration with the private sector in the technical state, we will establish those factories. The man who is ready to ensure that this security that we have in the land is no more.
Members of the campaign team, including former Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo, acknowledged support by party members in the state, promising to work towards the return of PDP to power at all levels. Kaduna State is the second state visited by the PDP presidential campaign train after the flag off of its presidential campaign in Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom State. Suleiman Rigachukwu, NTA News.
The national coordinator of the Buhari National Votes Guard and Awareness, Kailani Mohammed, wants Nigerians, particularly politicians, to carefully and objectively interrogate the performance of the APC-led government with facts and figures. At a media briefing in Abuja, Kailani said this will enable Nigerians make informed opinion ahead of the 2023 general elections. Saliu Gwanara reports.
Recent revelations and concerns raised on the future of Nigeria's economic sustainability prompted this briefing. Here, it was agreed that the 7 years of APC-led government is impactful to all sectors of the nation.
While the administration is working to stabilize the country by achieving the following: Nigeria's oil and gas industry reform, AKK, Escravos, Dangote, power sector, Siemens, 25,000 megawatts, reorganization of the armed forces with an infrastructural revolution, as well as construction of second Niger and Loco, Iweto Bridge, and a new deep sea port in Lagos.
The amicable resolution of ASU strike, he said, is worthy of note.
I think in the nearest future, the National Assembly has to look into it and make sure that these universities are dependent on themselves. Even if the federal government want to help them, it's just by the way. Then you will see our classroom system will be going without any interruptions.
He added that transparent initiatives across key government agencies, including NNPC Limited, are assuring. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Still talking politics, National Working Committee of New Nigeria People's Party NNPP has reversed the suspension of some zonal and state executives in the Southwest. National Chairman of the party, Professor Rufai Ahmed Alkali, assured members of the party in the Southwest that the issues on ground were already being addressed. On the campaign,
The National Working Committee has set up a Peace and Reconciliation Committee to immediately meet with all the aggrieved parties at Lagos very soon to listen to their grievances and amicably solve the differences. We promise to run an all-inclusive and issue-based campaign. We are not going to engage in abuses, and our supporters all over the country are under instruction not to engage in negative campaign or violence.
The national chairman said the list of campaign council will soon be made public. To other news now, the chairman and chief executive officer of Oil Self Limited, Emeka Okwasa, has applauded President Muhammadu Buhari's effort at turning the tide in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. It was at a physical and hybrid press conference. He said the national award bestowed on him will continue to spur him to greater commitment and service to Nigeria. Lydia Sampson reports.
Oil Self Limited was incorporated in 1992 and commenced operations in 1995. The company has pooled the expertise of highly qualified and experienced engineers, technicians, and other support personnel to provide total quality services to multinational and local oil and gas, as well as power companies and industries operating in Nigeria for onshore and offshore activities. As a result, Oil Self Limited has excelled as an indigenous player with footprints in the entire value chains of the energy landscape. It was not surprising that the chairman and CEO was amongst eminent Nigerians who recently got national recognition.
Most importantly, to take the opportunity to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, who deemed me fit to be given the National Award of Commander of the Order of Niger. I believe strongly that this is what more or less tells me that I should do more.
The hybrid physical press conference provided the platform for the CEO to provide insight on ongoing developments in the oil and gas industry. He noted that the principal driver of the economy is energy. He reiterated the critical place of gas as the main driver in the energy mix.
Oil Self has achieved a lot over the past 25 years plus. And the reason is because of clear focus and determination.
The Oil Self boss decried pipeline vandalism and its ripple effects leading to the shutting down of production, which he noted is affecting the industry negatively.
Oil Self is ready and well prepared to be able to continue to make the difference.
Emeka Okosa says Nigeria's gas master plan looks into the backbone of the gas transportation system, adding that more work, however, has to be done to achieve robust gas utilization system and transportation. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Now, NTA Abuja hit the waves on October 17, 1979, following a merger of 12 existing regional television organizations, including the Western Nigerian Television, WNTV, and began operations on a rented two-story apartment at Osabo, Abeokuta, Ogun State. This is why some pioneer staff of the management staff joined the management staff in celebrating the 43-year-old station and also recalling good memories they shared as young broadcasters in bringing the station to limelight. Ayila Balogun reports.
43 years ago, NTA Abeokuta was created by the then military government, headed by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, with limited manpower, starting operations on a rented apartment. The vision then was to have a station that will be independent and impartial among the existing television broadcasting outfits.
We want to talk about the former DG of NBC, Engineer Yomi Bolarinwa. Giants upon giants have emerged from NTA Abeokuta. So for us, we've only come to build upon that which they laid very good foundation.
And so, some of the pioneer staff gathered at the station's operational headquarters at Abeokuta, Ogun State, to celebrate the 43rd anniversary of the station.
We want more people to do better than what we are doing. Make ourselves happy and create a wonderful environment around the idea of broadcasting.
This country needs young men and women who are committed to transforming the country into a place that people would like to live in.
For 3 years, NTA still waxing very strong. I mean, NTA Abeokuta. And incidentally, I started my own sojourn too as a broadcaster in Abuja when I came here to freelance.
To mark the day, 17 members of the forum who have attained the age of 70 years and above, including the first manager programs, NTA Abuja, were recognized.
It's good to be good. By God's grace, many that we brought up are even better than us now, and that's how it should be.
The gathering also introduced Mr. Adebayo Adeogun as the new president, NTA Abuja Pioneers Forum, following the exploration of Mr. Olalekan Ajaya's tenure.
And as part of the continued efforts by the Rivers State government to provide succor to victims of flood in the affected local government areas, the Task Force on Flood Management has distributed relief materials to flood disaster-affected persons in a central camp at Ayoda, Igedi. Ogidi Nyekwe reports that the chairman of the Flood Management Task Force, Dr. George Ureke, alongside members and other stakeholders, were on ground to perform the exercise.
The relief materials distributed consist of garri rice, beans, noodles, vegetable oil, red oil, tomato paste, among others. Chairman Rivers State Task Force on Management of Flood, George Mweke, warned officials of the camp against diversion of the materials, as it is meant for only those in the internally displaced camps. He appealed to the occupants of the camps to remain peaceful as more relief materials will be distributed in the coming days.
We did promise you that we will be with you through all that you passed through in this particular situation. We went back and quickly came together to bring a little succor by way of foodstuffs and other things like medication for you.
Stakeholders from the areas commended the Rivers State government for showing proactiveness and leadership by swiftly responding to the plight of the displaced residents.
Governor immediately hear this matter, he swing into action last week, donate and release 1 billion naira, and today Monday immediately we don't start to see food items. Here too we don't see medical doctors, environmental workers. We don't come to say anybody where they sick for here, they go treat them. Any hazard here, they will curtail.
The task force also reached out specially to a woman who recently put to bed in the camp. The Flood Management Task Force had already visited the palace of Oba land, Oba Machuku Nnam Obi III, and Ndoni community, all in Oba Idima Ndoni local government area, where they were intimated by the Oba and others that the area is the worst hit because of the presence of 4 rivers. They also disclosed to the Flood Task Force that oil and gas production in the area have been threatened with the shutting down of production at the OML 20, 21, 58, 60 and 61. In Port Harcourt, Ogidi Nyekwe, NTA News.
Time now to join Hingino in our Lagos Network Center for more on Network News. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Jumai. It is no longer news that states across Nigeria, including Delta, are ravaged by flood. The story, however, is that a popular philanthropist from Delta, Chief Executive Officer of Dantinaju Gold Research and founder, Damotech Foundation, Dr. Daniel Omoyibo, has gone all out to put smiles on the faces of those affected by flood in the state. Adeola Komiakere reports that cash sum worth millions of naira and vehicles were given out to empower the recipients.
Bids to cushion the devastating effect of recent flooding across Delta State, the Chief Executive Officer of Damotech Foundation, Daniel Omoyibo, has donated cash and relief materials to victims of Isoko community affected by flooding in Delta State. In addition to his other philanthropic gestures was the distribution of about 77 cards and presentation of checks ranging from 100,000 naira to 10 million naira as startup grants to about 600 people.
I'm going to use this check to start my fashion business. I thank God for Damotech that bless us with this money.
I am most happiest message so far. It got us as a home. I will use this car for my business. It is the car he gave to me. I'm going to, in fact, it's just like a newborn baby.
Former Secretary to the Delta State Government of Osorio Macaulay flagged up the empowerment program and commended the effort.
Empowerment has come to a stage where you put food on somebody's table, and that means you make it possible for the person to provide for his or her family.
The CEO Danmotech Foundation and Dantinajo Gold Resort is a well-known philanthropist that has continued to touch the lives of his people.
By the time you vote, when God have it, then I promise you, and I look forward. You supposed going to get a standard right in Jesus' name. I'm a diehard Atiku Okoa ticket.
It is expected that the magnanimity of Danmotech Foundation will change the standard of living of numerous Isoko people. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Talking health now, addressing challenges in primary health care in Nigeria goes beyond providing physical structures, but ensuring efficient and adequate services through proper funding. Amaka Owo reports that experts are suggesting this and the adoption of health insurance scheme benefits in strengthening the primary health care system.
Is a densely populated city, and recent data shows it has a growing population of over 20 million people. Despite efforts at the state level to meet the health needs of the people, statistics from the Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency shows the state has over 256 public health centers and over 26 general hospitals. Experts suggest that more needs to be done, especially at the primary health care level.
Give more recognition to the community pharmacy practice, because that has been found to be the first port of call. We need to fund primary care. We're in the private sector. We also need assistance that we could have within each community, things like emergency care services that can keep somebody alive after an accident till they get a tertiary care.
Others suggest taking advantage of the benefits of the health insurance to help reduce cost implications of obtaining health care at that level.
If we have a very strong managed care or health insurance system that we start addressing from the base of the pyramid, which is the primary health care, before you move to secondary and the tertiary, I think we are in the right direction.
People take advantage of programs like health insurance. Lagos State has a health insurance program, NASHMA. There's the National Health Insurance Authority. So those opportunities are there for people to take.
The primary health care facilities cater for a larger population of the people. Need for proper management is key to lifting many out of poverty and strengthening health security. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. It's now back to Jumai in Abuja.
Thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with former Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, Nuhu Gidado, on his 64th birthday, joining family and friends to celebrate with the public servant who has served the nation and his state in many capacities. President Buhari notes the zeal, courage and vision that Gidado has brought to bear, especially the implemented reforms that saw increase in enrollment, improvement in output of teachers and better performances in WAEC and NECO. The president prays for long life and prosperity for the former deputy governor. We now go to business news with Musa Abubakar.
Thank you, Jummai. The inflation rate in Nigeria rose for 8 straight months to 20.77% in September 2022. Data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has shown the NBS attributed the likely cause of the rise to the disruption in the supply of food products, increasing import costs due to the persistent currency depreciation and a general increase in the cost of production. On a year-on-year basis in September 2022, the headline inflation rate of 20.77% was 4.14% points higher compared to the rate recorded in September 2021, which was 16.63%. On a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in September 2022 was 1.36%. This was 0.41% lower than the 1.77% rate recorded in August 2022. This means that in the month of September 2022, the headline inflation rate on month-on-month basis declined by 0.41% relative to August 2022. The food sub-index increased by 23.34% on a year-on-year basis in September 2022. And as energy oil prices edge up on Monday in choppy trading as China's continuation of loose monetary policy was partly offset by fears that high inflation and energy costs could drag the global economy into recession. CNBC reports that Brent crude futures last rose 0.48% to more than $92 a barrel, recovering from a 6.4% fall last week. US West Texas Intermediate crude was 0.41% at $85.96 after a 7.6% decline last week. The equities market closed Monday's trading session on a bearish note. The all-share index fell 2.53% at 46,365.95 basis points. A total turnover of 137.9 million units of securities worth 4.3 billion naira were traded in 3,234 deals. Market capitalization fell to 25.2 trillion naira. Guarantee Trust Holding Company, Cotville, and Fidelity Bank were the most traded stocks at the end of the day's transaction. And that's business news. Jimmy, back to you.
Thank you, Musa. Still talking business, having signed deals worth more than $30 million between business organizations in Nigeria and Egypt in the just concluded Nigeria-Egypt Trade Conference. The federal government, in collaboration with the private sector, is set to take advantage of business opportunities around trade and services sector with special interest in Egypt's blue economy. Benny Adams has the details.
The Suez Canal and its economic zones are together a body of wealth that puts food on the table of millions around the world. It allows the flow of revenue through and from Egypt. And Nigeria seeks to be a beneficiary by tapping into this enormous source of wealth.
And I think with the advent of the Pan-African payment system, e-commerce is going to be the in thing. Already, a lot of our young people, MSMEs in particular, rely on e-commerce. You know, you place your order for things and these things come in.
And for the business community, the canal is an economic leap to the full actualization of the African continental market.
The architecture is fine, the educational service is good, the medical service is okay. As all these things are packaged in the African continental free trade area.
With the advent of the Business Council, that Nigerian companies are looking forward to doing business in Egypt too. So I'm calling for the two countries through their ambassadors to encourage the business concern and also that we can do credible business between each other.
The canal is an international economic zone that links the Red Sea with the Mediterranean. It comprises of economic and logistic zones, 6 major ports, industries, road networks, and airports. It offers zero customs duties on raw materials, up to 50% discount on maritime services to more than 100 million consumers. From the Suez Canal, Cairo, Egypt, Benny Adams, NTA News.
We'll take another break. When we return, more reports. Don't stay. And a sports update, France and Real Madrid forward Karim Benzema emerged winner of the 2022 Ballon d'Or in Paris as some outstanding players won at various categories. And that's it on the news tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I am Jumai Yusuf.